So the other day, I'm mowing my lawn, listening to the Rich Froning podcast, and I hear this.
But
always doing that.
we also had the caveat of some people don't want to ever do a double under.
Yeah.
And
Or
some
a
people
handstand.
don't ever want to handstand walk.
Yep.
Or even touch a barbell. So
Yeah.
you could just do for 50 seconds clean and jerks with a dumbbell or two dumbbells or
Yeah.
whatever,
That's right.
single unders,
Yeah.
and then ski or whatever, just to get a good workout.
And for some reason, it caught my attention and kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I couldn't exactly figure out why it did. But after thinking a little bit more, I finally figured out why this felt so wrong the first time I heard it. First of all, I want to say there's obviously nothing wrong with what he's saying. It's a completely reasonable thing to say. But for some reason, when I heard it, it was shocking and it kind of evoked some negative emotion. But what I realized is that this is just peak pandering. That's all this is. He is just pandering to a group of people that are not his group, at least what his group used to be or we thought it was. And when I say pandering, what I mean is he's changing his values, he's changing what he is to fit someone else's. He even goes on to say, we get so caught up in constantly varied functional movements, blah, 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 blah. Well, the reason we get so caught up in that is because we are CrossFit. You are a CrossFit gym. The reason we get caught up in that is because that's what we believe. That's the way we believe that working out should look like. Essentially what happened is Rich goes, man, I believe in constantly varied functional movements performed at a high intensity with the goal of increased work capacity across broad time and modal domains. I think that learning handstand walking is good for your fitness. I think that blah, blah, blah. And then some guy goes, I think that's dumb. I just want to get a good workout. And then Rich goes, oh, you're right. My bad. I'm sorry. Let's just get a good workout. Let me give you an example of this. Let's say you go to church. You're looking for a moral compass. And you go to church and the leader of your church stands up and he's like, thou shalt not kill. And then some dude in the crowd goes, but I love killing. And then the leader of your church goes, all right, fine, you can kill. That church has no values. Would you be interested in that church if they were like, all right, fine, you can kill? Because somebody said they like killing? CrossFit Mayhem, I would think would be constantly varied functional movements performed at high intensity with the goal of increasing your work capacity across broad time and modal domain. Being fitter in all aspects, not just getting a good workout. And I think this getting a good workout idea has really infected the CrossFit world. Lately, we've become victims to a loud group of people that are like, oh, I don't ever want to learn how to handstand walk. I just want to get a good workout. It's bad for CrossFit to want to have us learn how to do new things or increase our abilities with our bodies. Increasing our physical capabilities is part of getting a good workout in my idea and in what I think the spirit of CrossFit is. Are you getting a good workout if you're not increasing your physical capabilities at all? To every little bit that you pander to that person who never wants to touch a barbell, you lose the actual group of people who share your values of increased work capacity across broad time and modal domains, large load, long distances quickly, functional movements. When you speak these things and you stick to them as your values, you will gain a group of people who are better customers, for one, who are more loyal, who are more your speed, who are more aligned with your values. Right now, what Mayhem's doing is pandering to a group of people that aren't part of this CrossFit thing. It's like this. Rich goes, some people don't ever want to touch a barbell. Some people don't ever want to learn how to do double unders. Some people don't ever want to learn how to handstand walk. Okay, Rich, you can move towards helping those people, but do you realize that some people don't ever want to work out? What are you going to do then? Are you going to start selling Ozempic and just stop selling programming? It's scope creep. It's like, this is what we do. And then, oh, this is what we do. And this is what we do. And this is what we do. And then once you do everything, you do nothing. So are you CrossFit and you're aligned with what CrossFit is? Or are you something else? And if they're going to go away from CrossFit and just have be a fitness brand, fine. But I'm sure that those people who never want to touch a barbell, never want to learn how to handstand walk, never want to learn how to do double unders, I think that group is probably already being served at Hyrox or F45. So if that's what you're going to become, maybe they're going to move towards being F45 Mayhem or Hyrox Mayhem. And that's fine. But they keep saying, "Oh, we're not de-affiliating, we're just blah blah blah." But what are you doing? Actually, if you want to have a good brand, then you have to have a specific product. You can't just be selling everything and nothing. And he says, if you want people to come back, sometimes you got to give them what they want. This is not I'm not having a nuanced conversation with him, so whatever. But if you want people to come back, you kind of also have to provide the best product. And in my mind, personally, I think the best product is CrossFit. And what that looks like, where it goes from getting a good workout to, okay, we want to actually push you to, yes, you should learn how to do double unders, because increasing your ability to learn a new skill, increasing your ability for hand-eye coordination, increasing your ability in the future to do more workouts with bounding. It's like at some point, yes, we want them to get a good workout, but also we know CrossFit works, and we know that these things are so good for people to learn. The universal movement patterns and the potential for better workouts in the future by learning these things, and the neuroplasticity, blah, 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 blah. Like, I could just go on about the importance of learning all of these things. And if you just let people completely wipe that away, then you're providing nothing and truly not providing as good of a product as you could be. Now, obviously, you have to meet people in the middle, but you can't just pander to this one group so much that you lose your identity. Anyway, that was kind of a long-winded way of saying, I think not just Mayhem, I think this has happened in the greater CrossFit community. I think it's happened with a lot of the gyms I've seen where it's this pandering. And the truth is that what works may not drive the most people in the immediate future, but the truth is what works is CrossFit, because the pandering works for nobody. The people who you're pandering to truly actually don't care and are never going to be satisfied with your product or the product or your training, whatever. The people that you're not pandering to or pandering against, the people who are like true CrossFitters, are not going to be well served, and you lose your values. You lose your identity. And again, I think this is happening in CrossFit as a whole. I've seen it with, the Open. I've seen it with whatever. Like, we need to stick to, there is a reason that we learn these complex movements. There is a reason we lift heavy barbells and have them crash on us, because of the core strength, because of the full range of motion that it puts on your joints when you hit the bottom of a squat, because of the blah, 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 blah. All the stuff that's good about a barbell crashing on you is why we do it. And we don't want to pander against that. So I think we need to stick to our identity, stick to what CrossFit is. And I've seen too much of the pandering, and it's not just Mayhem, it's a lot of people. Now, all of this being said, if Rich would hire me for that media specialist job at Mayhem, then I would take all of this back. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Peace.